Can you use 811 or call before you dig to meet the requirements of Table A, Item 11? Table A, Item 11 is one of my least favorite Table A items. It has to do with the survey of underground utilities. The answer to that question is no, you can't use 811 to meet the requirements of Table A, Item 11. Am I just being difficult? You know, Daddy's like, yeah, Landon, he's just a pain in the butt. Don't call him for a survey. No, I'm not just being difficult. I'm going to give you 4 good reasons why you can't use an 811 request to meet the Table A, Item 11 requirement. I get asked to do this on a fairly regular basis, and it's because the client's trying to save money. So let me give you the 4 reasons why I can't use an 811 request to meet the requirements of Table A, Item 11. Okay, so here's the first one. It is not, calling 811, call before you dig, is not one of the 2 options allowed under Table A, Item 11. If you actually read the Table A, Item number 11, there's only 2 ways the surveyor can put the utilities on the ALTA survey. One is locating utilities from record drawings and reports provided by the client. That's the first way. And the second way is by surveying markings from a private locate request. Okay? You'll notice call before you dig is not in that list. So I either have to use record drawings from the utility companies, or I have to hire a private locator to go mark and locate the site. So that's the first reason. It's not allowed under the spec. 2, 811 or call before you dig does not locate markings outside of the public right-of-way as a general rule. So if you're getting an ALTA survey, chances are you are not getting an ALTA survey of public right-of-way. You're getting an ALTA survey of a private parcel. And a lot of times 811 call before you dig will say, we're not gonna mark and locate that. It's not in the public right-of-way, right? And so if you try and use 811 call before you dig to meet the requirements of this item, what might happen is 811 may go out and just locate the utilities in the right-of-way, and the surveyor will survey those and show them on the map, but you don't have any of the utilities that might run through the parcel, right? So that's a problem. That's the second reason. Number 3, 811 doesn't mark private utilities, right? So this is related to the last item, but it's a little bit different. So if you have a commercial or industrial parcel and they have their own utilities, so storm, sewer, water, sometimes we have pressurized air, 811 doesn't mark and locate those. 811 does mark and locate for public utilities, right? And a lot of industrial facilities have their own private underground utility networks that are unrelated to any kind of public utility. So that's the third reason why 811 doesn't work for Table A, Item 11. They're not going to locate private utilities. Number 4, this is probably the most important. 811 doesn't mark unless you're digging, period. Now, you might be able to fool 811 call before you dig and get them to come out and mark the right-of-way in front of your site. But where I work, if you call 811 for a mark and locate, they want to know where you're digging and when you're digging. In fact, they want you to go out and paint on the ground where you're actually going to excavate. Well, if you're doing an ALTA survey, you're probably not digging. And you're certainly not digging, some surveyors will say, well, I'm going to dig for the property corners. Yeah, but that's not the whole site. That's at the property corners. So a lot of times 811 won't mark unless you're digging. So why do surveyors get asked to use 811 or call before you dig to meet the requirements of Table A, Item 11? Talked about it a little bit. It's an ineffective shortcut that the client's trying to use to save money. When I say client, that's usually the buyer, or could be the seller. Either way, it doesn't matter. They're trying to save money, right? They don't want to pay for a private locate request. I tell potential clients, oftentimes the cost to mark and locate a site for private utilities is more than the cost of the survey, especially if it's an urban site. It can be 2x or 3x the cost of the survey, right? So utility mark and locate work is expensive. I know, because I used to manage utility mark and locate work. It's not cheap. So the client's trying to save money. And the other reason why the client asks the surveyor to do this is because it's cheaper for the client, but it sticks the surveyor with the risk, right? So if I agree to do Table A, Item 11, and I go out and I say I've met the requirements of that in my certification statement based on an 811 request, I'm taking the liability as the surveyor, right? So I'm taking liability to save the client money, right? And nobody wins in that situation. I'm taking on the liability, and the lender doesn't know where the actual underground utilities are, because usually the lender is the one checking the Table A item 11. So I am frequently successful in talking the lenders out of this Table A item 11. I tell the lenders, I'm going to locate surface utilities anyways. That's required per the spec. If you don't have specific concerns related to this parcel about underground utilities, maybe you don't need to ask for this. And a lot of times banks will say you're right. However, I've worked on other projects where, underground utility features had a major impact on how the parcel could be used and thus on the value. So some lenders are reasonable when they ask for this work to be done. So it's okay. You can check Table A item 11, but it's not free, and don't expect me to meet the requirements of that Table A item based off a call before you dig request. I need you to provide me with record utility drawings, or I need you to hire a private utility mark and locate company, and I can coordinate that work for you. I can even perform some of that work for you, but you're going to pay for it, right? So it's not free. So if you or the bank checks Table A item 11, understand what that means. Don't try and take a shortcut with call before you dig. It doesn't work.